Welcome to the Weekly Spanish Review. This is for Mr. Jones's class, Spanish 2. This week we started on Chapter 7, and as you can see on the screen here, this is our new vocabulary. A lot of this vocab has to do with weather. There were some repeat words from last year that we learned in our preliminary unit. We'll go down through the list to kind of check them, and remember, like I tell you in class and like I tell you in these videos every week, look at your list at least 5 minutes every night. Practice on here, practice on Quizlet with the flashcards. That'll really help you, especially with your vocab quizzes and learning and being able to use the new language. So first we'll start with el verano, which we learned last year was summer. El invierno. We've seen these words before too. We saw la nieve, la nube, llueve, nieva, hace buen tiempo, hace mal tiempo, hace calor, hace sol, nublado. We saw those last year. Now when we start down here, this is getting into some of the new vocab that we're going to be learning too. El balneario, the seaside beach resort. So this vocab is going to deal a lot with summer activities, being at the beach. That's our new words that we need to learn. Words like la playa, la arena, and you can see our translations over here. El mar, la ola, el sol, la piscina. Then we've got words like el barquito. There's verbs, practicar. Remember how to conjugate verbs in the present. We learned that in Unit 5. We actually learned it before, but we practiced a lot more this year in Unit 5. But remember, for practicar, if you want to say I practice, yo practico. Tú practicas. These are also verbs, alquilar and rentar, pasar and nadar, and bucear. All AR verbs. Now later in this video, I'll get into the grammar that we're going to learn in this unit, which is past tense. We're going to learn how to conjugate in the past tense. We already know how to do present, and now we're going to learn past tense AR verbs. And then down through the list here, we've got a few more, like una cámara digital y una estación de esquí. Now we'll take a look at those AR verbs. This is the list of AR verbs, how we conjugate in the past tense. Now remember before I said in present tense, AR verbs, if you're talking about yo, end in an O. But in the past tense, they're going to end with this E with the accent mark over the top. So for example, in our vocabulary, we have the verb nadar, which means to swim. So for nadar, we take off the AR and we put this ending for yo, which is the E with the accent mark, like I said. So if you want to say I swam for the past tense, yo nadé. Past tense endings for to in AR is haste. So again, nadar is our verb. We take off the AR at the end and we add haste. Tú nadaste. You swam. For he, she, and then you formal, which is usted, our past tense AR endings is the O with the accent mark. So if I want to say he swam, I can say él nadó. Notice that strong ending at the end because we have the accent mark over our O. We got to make it sound different. Remember in present tense, if I say I swim all the time, yo nado. But if we want to talk about he swam in the past, él nadó. Might be a little confusing now, but we're going to get more into that in class and in future lessons too. I'll explain kind of the pronunciations and we'll do a lot of practice. For nosotros, that ends in amos. Nosotros nadamos. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes. For AR past tense, we use aron. So if I want to say they swam in the past tense, ellos nadaron. Next week, we'll get more into the winter vocabulary too, and words about skiing and other winter activities. I'm also focus a lot on these past tense endings and using the past tense.